Hi, this is Greg from Pensacola, Florida. I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about what's been going on for the last 6 months and the direction of the channel moving forward. About 6 months ago, I got hit with Bell's palsy, and that was the left side of my face was paralyzed. And so I took some time off from work. It took about 3 weeks for it to start to subside, and about 6 to 7 weeks total before it pretty much all went away. I still have a little spot here on my face that doesn't move if I like wrinkle my nose or something like that, but for the most part it's pretty much gone. It was a little scary time at the moment and things like that, and so it completely derailed my video schedule. I had videos set up that were going to be for certain designers to hit Kickstarter points, and it just didn't happen. So to those people, I apologize for that, but I got some changes that I'm going to make moving forward that should help things move a little bit quicker onto the channel. So first thing, we'll talk about the channel name, Panhandle 3D Printing. What that is I brought everything that I'm doing into one central taxable entity on there. So the YouTube channel, my Etsy store, I do custom print jobs for people. I've been doing that all along. And so way back in when I first started the channel with the Hurst Arts days, you know, my dream was always to, I'm going to sell Hurst Arts blocks and I'm going to get a license from Mr. Hurst and sell stuff on eBay and things like that. Well, that never really happened. And then I got the 3D printing and things were going good. And occasionally you get a request that, hey, can you print something? Yeah, sure. You know, and over the course of 3 years, you get enough of those requests, you start to get a check from YouTube like every 2.5 months, and things, you know, you need to be right with the IRS and all that. And so that's what I did. You know, I formed a company, got the EIN, have my business insurance, have all the money that people reached into my pocket to take to get the business off online. And last March is when I launched that business, and it's been going really well all year long. So the one part of the business I've kind of neglected is the YouTube side. And so we're back. I've made some changes on how I think the YouTube will streamline a little more. My daughter's going to take over the editing of all the videos, because anybody that runs a YouTube channel knows that the worst part is not recording the content. It's sitting at the computer for 3 hours putting the video together, even on small edits, you know, because I have a ton of outtakes when I start a video that once I get going, I seem to be going all right. But man, I stumble all over myself going forward. And so she's going to take over the editing of the videos. We made a deal that she gets the YouTube side of the, you know, business and things like that, and it should go really well. The video changes. Probably some of the biggest changes I want to make is not to do these 40-minute videos. And I know I can talk forever on a video, but I need to learn to cut these videos down to 10 to 12 minutes. And that's what I'm going to do. If I got to put a timer in front of me, that's what I'm going to do. But as a result, I don't want to print 200 hours just to put some content up on the screen. So going forward, what I'm going to do is kind of like I did when I first started with the Maker Gear, is have a selection of stuff out in front of me from a bunch of different designers, maybe 1-2 pieces from each of them, and show maybe 5 or 6 pieces off, and then wrap up the video. It's almost like when I did the Hurst Arts demolding videos. It gives you an idea of what to look at, you know, what something looks like coming off the printer. So this piece right here, and of course, like I always do, I'll put pictures up on the screen also. This is the sci-fi train from Andrew Askadal's last Kickstarter. This is going to be part of that very first video. And so we'll have a little bit of stuff from him. I think I have a little bit of stuff from Corvus Game Designs will be on that video. So it's going to be 3-4 pieces. You can see it in front of you on the table really good. And you can say, hey, I'd like to get that. And there'll be links to the designers' websites. That way they can make a little money on the project, and those websites usually have links to whoever the authorized printers are. So what's that mean for the Kickstarter videos? So I used to do the Kickstarter showcase videos, and these were, you know, I have a table full of terrain out in front of me that was kind of showing off what the designers had made. And so kind of going forward, you know, if you are a designer, I have no problems putting your stuff on the channel. I just have a couple things that I'm going to change on there, and that's just basically piece count. You know, I don't need your whole catalog on there. If you want to send me the whole catalog, that's perfectly fine for doing the video. But I just want to show off 2-3 pieces. So I got some stuff that's coming up. Worlds Overrun is running their Inferno Kickstarter. So I have like 3 pieces from that Kickstarter I'm going to print, and it'll be a quick preview video. So you can kind of see what it looks like on the table from my vantage point, and I can show it to you. RM Studios, they're running a Kickstarter coming up soon. Stormguard in the City Ruins is going to be the name of it. It's got some really nice stuff on it, you know. So I've got, Mark sent me 3 pieces, and I'm going to print those out, and we'll show those off too. And so that way, moving forward with the designers, I'm not taking 200 plus hours to print the terrain out. I mean, some of them are 200 to 400 hours, especially the open lock stuff, because I'm going to kind of steer away from that unless I hold a license with that designer and I'm printing it either for my shop or for a custom order for somebody that, you know, of a designer I hold the license for. I probably won't put it on here because it's just so time consuming to do the tile based stuff, because really you try to show more than a single room, and so you try to get a nice layout, and it looks cool and it's really nice stuff. So but man, is it time consuming on there though. So the exception to that will be DungeonWorks. He has a tavern scent that he had sent me back last August, and that was something I was going to be working on before the whole Bell's palsy thing. And that's mostly because I really like that set, and I want some of that terrain here for myself. Not a license holder with him or anything like that, so that's, I'm printing that for my own game buckets on there, which, you know, it's funny, after 3 years, you know, doing your terrain purge on just the level of how good everything has gotten, how good of all the designers have gotten and things like that. And so that brings me into the, you know, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to mix and match designers. So I'll be completely upfront. You'll see something pop up on the screen that says if I'm a license holder. I hold a lot of licenses to the different designers. So, you know, like Warlayer, you know, he does a commercial license through Patreon. So you'll see Warlayer and Corvus Games Terrain, because I have licenses with both those designers, you know, in the videos together. What you won't see is me mixing printable scenery in with a license holder's video. So printable scenery be on its own stuff. DungeonWorks is on its own stuff. Skyless Realms Kickstarter is just finishing right now. You know, I did the commercial license pledge on that. So as I'm printing that stuff, and it's going to be listed up in the shop, I'm going to be showing it all off on here. Not to drive people to the shop, but to show you some really cool terrain, and that if you want to go pick it up, if there's a late pledge or something like that that's going on, I'm sure they'll put it up on their website to sell. It is really good looking RPG Underdark stuff. So that's kind of how we're going forward. You know, the licensed people will be in their own video, the non-licenses will be in their others, and it's just going to be shorter content, but more often. You know, with my daughter helping me out doing the editing, I should be able to come out here, point the camera at the table, show 3-4 things off. It's a nice 10-12 minute video, and we move on. Expanding the channel. So 4 or 5 years ago, I started with the Hearst Arts, and then I moved into 3D printing with the Maker Gear. And I have to say that 3 years and 4 months later, I know that printer is expensive by today's standards, but it sits in that office printing 100 hours a week, and it's a backbone printer for my printing business on there. It doesn't fail. It doesn't let me down. You click it and forget it, and you walk away. You know, you know, I change a nozzle on that printer, maybe, you know, the little brass print nozzle once every 6 months. You know, I burn through nozzles on the Creality line of printers all the time, but tremendous printer. And so I went from the Hearst Arts, from the plaster casting to the 3D printing, and that really changed everything, you know. And so back in August, I went down to CNC Rabbit Hole. I started watching Titans of CNC, New York CNC. Nerdly started buying CNC machines. He started bringing his business back from China to the United States and started showing some of the stuff that he could show inside his shop. And I went down the rabbit hole bad. Now, granted, those channels are mostly about milling. They're doing metalwork and things like that. I'm looking at woodworking. I've got woodworking plans back to 2005. And if I had to go back in time, if I had to do whatever I wanted to do, it's always I wanted a giant woodworking shop. Well, I don't have a giant woodworking shop, but I do have a 2-car garage that is now completely my CNC / woodworking shop. And so what I have coming in is a Axiom I2R8. It's a 2-foot by 4-foot CNC machine. This thing's a monster. It weighs over 300 pounds on there, and it's going to be in addition to the shop. I'm going to be doing sign work and things like that. And really what the CNC is for here is to really start the family business on there. The Panhandle 3D printing Etsy side is more kind of me on there, but this involves everybody in the house. They can all do their own designs. They're all making their own SVGs, a lot of sign work. I've already got work lined up for it, and it's not even here yet. And so I'm pretty excited. What's that mean for the channel? You get to see me kind of work through it. You know, the I2R series is an entry-level series for Axiom, but it's, you know, we're talking, and I'll show off the machine. It is heavy-duty, hardcore. It's beyond, I think, your general hobby machine on there. But to get an idea of some of the stuff I want to do on there, I really love Winston Moy's channel. And if you've never seen him, he has a fantastic video style. He has a fantastic just life outlook, and the way he talks and analyzes things and things like that is just tremendous. Same with the CEO from Pearson Work Holding. Talks about lean workspaces and things like that. And it's just a fascinating topic to see. And so I'm going to bring in the CNC side. And so just to give you an idea of what's going to come to the channel of it is tons of giveaways, because if I'm learning this, when I'm learning this, there's going to be things coming back to you guys also. Way back when, and I don't know which video it was one of my early ones, I 3D printed this dice holder out of, this is wood PLA, this is Hatchbox wood PLA, and I stained it, put polyurethane on it, and it's nice. I mean, I've used this a long time, and it's really good. And then I went to Eldritch US on Etsy, because I like to kind of benchmark things that I'm shooting to do. And so I went onto his store and I bought one of these from him. And this is a dice holder, and this is made out of a Brazilian, I think, cherry. And this thing is absolutely beautiful. The workmanship, the craftsmanship that he did on this is tremendous. I got my Kill Team dice in there, but obviously there'll be some pictures up. Fantastic work. Feeling the weight of this piece is just incredible. And so this is the type of stuff I want to do. I've got a lathe that'll be out there, and I'll do a shop tour once it's all finished setting up, because the CNC machine should be here mid-February, and then I can finalize the shop. But I'll have a lathe out there for turning pens. I got some cool ideas for that, and I'm just going to feed that stuff back into the channel, because what it's easy to do is it's easy to ship something like this in a box to a viewer versus trying to ship a 12, enough terrain, 3D printed terrain, to be meaningful to somebody's table. This is cool. You can throw this in your bag and you take it with you on a game night and things like that. So this is nice. He does fantastic workmanship. He sells 2 products. He sells this and he sells a wider version, and that's it. And he's got thousands of sales on this, and I can see why, just because the weight, the finish, the look, everything is really nice with this. So I'll put a link up to his Etsy store on there, but it's nice to be able to buy a product and it kind of gives you a goal or a benchmark to work from. Dice trays is another one. This, way back, probably, when the channel first started, I used to design the little dice trays, and this is probably as far as I got on level of my dice tray. This was my Crix War Machine dice tray design I did and printed. This was printed on Maker Gear, and it came out really good, and I really like it. But this is Jeff Glass did this dice tray for me, and this is solid hardwood. It's got his initials on the bottom, and he made this for me. God, this is probably 2 years ago, and it was really nice. And so this is something also that I want to be doing out of different types of hardwoods. I'll flash a picture up. I have an amazing amount of hardwoods out in my garage right now, you know, that's going to be all ready to do this type of stuff. And so, dice trays, dice boxes, these are really easy to ship and mail and to have fun with. And it's just a gaming accessory that you can use. I have other ideas on doing custom coins because the machine will do metal. It's not going to mill steel, but I can do brass, aluminum, anything that doesn't need flood coolant will have no problem at all. And you can see I'm starting to get off on a tangent because I started talking CNC and went right back down to rabbit hole. But needless to say, there will be a Panhandle 3D printing and CNC on the channel. So it'll be pretty neat. Got a bunch of wireless mics set up, you know, that I've never really gotten to use since we did our War Machine battle reports. And so I'm looking forward to getting that equipment back out. You know, so just to wrap it up is, you know, it feels good to be back. I actually feel good. Things are good. Business is good. You know, things are moving along really good. So I'm excited to show some terrain off on there. And like I said, we're going to start out with some War Layer and some Corvus Games terrain in the video. I'm printing a bunch of printable scenery stuff for myself. And so just to give a tease on that without knocking it over, you know, my RPG buckets are empty. And so I'm making some nice fantasy terrain, you know, for myself. And, yeah, I'll show that off in a video, a few pieces of that. It's not, I have the current Kickstarter, but I didn't print the last Kickstarter. So I'm just going through and just picking some pieces and buildings that I really like, and I'll put them on a video. So I know, really thank you guys that haven't unsubscribed from the channel. I know sometimes you guys, you know, you just forget about your subs and it just disappears, but YouTube absolutely punishes you if you don't release content regularly. You know, they basically put you in the basement. All your monetization goes away. Not that I was really making a ton of money, but it's nice to get a check every once in a while. And, you know, so going forward, more content, shorter content. We'll add the CNC on here, get more designers on here, show off a bunch of cool stuff at a fairly rapid rate. And, you know, have some fun, you know, see the mistakes I make learning the CNC, you know, because it's not plug and play, you know, it's not like the 3D, it's not like 3D printing, you know, it's not a plug and play environment. Not that 3D printing is, it's gotten easier, but it still takes a little work to make nice prints. And really look forward to sitting back in front of the camera again and getting some stuff on the table. So thank you very much. And if you're new here to the channel, go ahead and look at some of the back catalog stuff. There's well over 3 years worth of 3D printing, game related, terrain related items, you know, videos on the channel, and it'd be great to have you look at them. And I look forward to you guys sticking around and see what's coming out. So thank you very much. And this is Greg from Panhandle 3D Printing, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.